We have already learned the concept of array in Java, and we also learn how to create array in Java and how to implement that one, how to display their name, how to fetch any particular value of an array, etc., etc. Now today our problem statement is that we have to create a 5 student name in an array, and then we have to display them, and finally we have to modify the fourth student name. Let's say this is the fourth student name, 1 2 3 4. So this fourth student name we have to modify with some other name, and then again we have to display. Okay, so here again we will try to do some declaring of array, then create the memory location, that is basically size of the array, and then putting the value into it. Okay, but we will try to do it in a single line. So first we will check how to do it in 3 steps, then we will try to make all these 3 steps in a single line, then finally we will try to display them one, that the list of the name, and finally we will try to again the modify the fourth student name and then display them. Okay, so let's check that. So our first step is declaring the array, and once we try to take the name, so definitely our array type should be string, right? So how we can declare that? So we will take this type of syntax, string, that is basically type, and then the name of the array, let's say student names. We know that we have to use this third bracket, start and end. So our declaration is done. Then we have to use the memory locations, or we have to create the memory locations, and what is the list size, that is basically 1 2 3 4 5. So how we can do that? So we can make a syntax like this. So this is basically my array name, then we have to use the new keyword, then it's a string type, and the size of the array is basically 5. Now the next step is putting the value, and which type of value we have to put, that is basically this 5 name. So to do that, so you can see the first name is basically Arun, and how we can do that? So here we can simply create student, then under third bracket Arun is my first name, first student list name, so we can use the index 0, then this is Arun. Okay, for second one, so we have to use the index 1, and what is the name? So if you check here, so the second name is basically Dev, so we can use this one under this code. So this way we can create till fourth, means 0 1 2 3 4, all the name in this way. But instead of doing all these type of 3 step, we can make it in a single line. So let me comment all this, and let's try to create this one in a single line. And how we can do that? So in a single line we can do like this way. So basically string is the type and array name is student name, and this is basically syntax of declarations, right? So instead of making a size here and putting one value each time, we can simply use the second bracket or curly brackets, and under that we can put the total name, that is basically this 5 names. So how we can make this one? So let me copy this one and let me paste it here. But see, thing is that every name is a string type, right? So we have to put every name under a double quote, then separated by comma. So we can create like this way. So this is my first student name, this is my second student name, and you can see here I am separated this with a comma. Then again this is my third one, so we have to create a double quote. So each student name, as these are the string, so we have to use the double quote. Now you can see my total declarations, then the size creations and putting the value, all are done in a single step. Right now, how we can make this one visible, or how we can display this one? So let me double click it here. So basically this is the till now we did. Now we have to print this name, right? And we can see here that we have 5 students, 1 2 3 4 5. So we can simply create a for loop here. Let's say int I start from 0 index, then I less than 5, or we can make less than equal to 4, because index start from 0 1 2 3 then 4. So less than 5 means fourth, or we can make it like less than equal to 4. Anything we can do, but think about that in future. Let's say I have added one more here, then its length gets changed, right? So instead of making direct 4 or 5 here, we can do one more thing, that is basically collecting the length of the array dynamically. And how we can do that? So let's create a integer variable that is basically array length. So I make the name like this, then equal to, and how we can collect the length of this array. So this is my array name, so if I make it here, then dot, and then we can use this length. Okay, so if you use this syntax, that's mean it will give me what is exact length of this array. So let me this one commenting, and let's check what is the length coming. So just try to create a system.out.println and try to print the length. Let's check how it is collected. Okay, so if I run it here, so you can see the output is coming as 5. So the length of this array, that is basically student name, is 5, because 1 2 3 4 5, the 5 name we are getting from this list. Now once I get the dynamic value of this length, if I increase this one, so it will automatically give the exact length of this array, right? So I am currently getting the exact length, and we can reuse this one. Instead of 4 or 5, we can reuse this one, right? So let me comment this one and again comment out this one. So now my for loop start from index 0, and it should be less than array length, so which I basically collected under this integer variable. Then I can make an increment operator I plus plus. Okay, and under that I can easily print the list of array value. And how we can do that? So we already know the syntax, that is basically my array name, and under third bracket it should be 0 1 2 3 4, something like this, right? So instead of that we can use I here, and it will give me first time 0, then 1, then 2 3 4. Now if I save it and run it, so you can see here that I am getting the list of student name here. Now if I go to the statement here, so first I have collected the 5 student name in an array, then I have display list of name. Now the next statement is that we have to modify the fourth student. So what is my fourth student name? So 1 2 3 4, fourth student is Arpan. So let's modify this fourth student name with other name. So how we can do that? So after this for loop, we have to modify this name, and that is basically the fourth student. And if I check the index, that is basically 0 1 2 3. So we can use the array name here, and the index of fourth student is 3, and we can make it like under third bracket this is 3, then we can make equal to, and under that we can change the name, let's say Subhasis. Okay, so if I do that, that's mean from the third positions or from the index 3, that is basically my fourth student, that will be modified with this name. So previously it was Arpan, then now I have modified it with Subhasis. Now if I try to display the list of array again, so I can use the same iterations logic here, and we can also add extra system.out.println here, that is basically after modifications. So let's create a comment after modification. We can also make it more beautified, like extra line here. Now once I try to run this, so first time it will give me the original value, that is basically this one. Then second time I modified this value with this value, so after modifications it should print the new student list. So let's run it. So after run, you can see that this is basically my previous list, and this is basically my next modified list, where you can see the name Arpan is already modified with Subhasis. Okay, so this way we can actually modify any value from the list with the help of this type of syntax. So currently I am doing this one for index 3, that is basically fourth positions, but as for our business logic, we can modify any positions value. So now if I check my problem statement, so we have actually take 5 student name, and instead of making 3 step, we did it in a single step. Then we learn a new thing, that is basically collecting the length of an array, and finally based on this length of the array we can print the student name with the help of this type of iterations. And if we want to modify any positions value, then we can use the index of that array, and there we can put some some another value, and after that if we try to print that one, so we will get the exact modified value. Hope you understand the concept and the problem statement solutions. Now next class we will try to create another program to solve another problem statement.
I believe this video has helped you to understand about the topic. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe, click on the bell notifications and select all so that you don't miss any video from this channel.